Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on one single cricket match that holds the entire T20 World Cup fate of Team India in its hands. It is absolutely do or die, and the math, well, it gets a little complicated. For millions of Indian cricket fans, the situation just couldn't be more stressful. After a real roller coaster of a Super 8 stage, it all comes down to this one high-pressure game against the West Indies. So how does India actually make it through? What exactly needs to happen for them to punch their ticket to the semifinals? We're about to break down every single scenario, the numbers that matter, and the one sneaky factor that could knock them out. Okay, to really understand what's on the line, we have to start with the group standings. See, this isn't just about winning one match. It's about how they stack up against everybody else. Right, take a look at the points column here. You can see India and the West Indies are tied with 2 points. But, that's not really the important part. The real story is in that last column, the net run rate. And that number next to India's name, yeah, that's a major problem. And this one number illustrates the problem perfectly. India's net run rate is in the negative. Meanwhile, their opponent, the West Indies, is sitting pretty on a huge positive NRR of plus 1.79. That massive gap is the entire story here. It's why this match is so important. So the crucial thing to get is this. If teams are tied on points when all the games are done, net run rate is that unforgiving decider. It's the tiebreaker that says who moves on and who goes home. No questions asked. Okay, so with that in mind, let's walk through the 3 possible outcomes of this match. For fans, this is a seriously nail-biting mix of hope and, let's be honest, a lot of anxiety. First up, the most straightforward and, frankly, the most desired scenario for every single Indian fan on the planet. This is the clean, simple, easy path forward. A win, that's it. A win by any margin is all that's needed. It puts India on 4 points, clear of the West Indies. They grab that second spot in the group and book their ticket to the semis. Boom, done. All right, now for the one nobody really wants to think about, but we absolutely have to cover it to understand the stakes. What happens if India just doesn't get the job done? If India loses, it's all over. They stay stuck on 2 points while the West Indies jump up to 4 points and qualify. A loss means India's World Cup campaign comes to a very abrupt, very disappointing end. Of course, with any massive cricket match, there's always one more wild card we have to think about, especially in a World Cup, and that is the weather. A washout isn't just a delay, it's a result all on its own. If the match gets washed out because of rain and there's no result, both teams are just awarded 1 point each. And this brings us right back to that critical number we were talking about just a second ago. With 1 point each, both India and the West Indies would end up tied on 3 points. So who goes through? Well, that's when the tiebreaker rule kicks in. And this, right here, is exactly why India's poor net run rate is so dangerous. In a tie on points, the West Indies' vastly superior NRR means they would advance, and India would be knocked out of the tournament without even losing the game. So with India's path being so incredibly narrow, let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the rest of the tournament? Who's actually favored to go all the way and lift that trophy? So over in the other group, things are already sorted out. England and New Zealand have officially booked their spots in the semifinals. With half the bracket locked in, the probability models have been updated, and they give us a new look at the most likely final matchups. According to the latest data, a South Africa versus New Zealand final is now the single most probable outcome. But look at number 2. An India versus England final is right on its heels. This just shows how much is riding on India actually getting that win. And looking at it like this, you can really see just how tight it is at the top. While South Africa versus New Zealand has a little bit of an edge, the chance for a blockbuster India versus England final is still very much in play, and it's all hanging on the result of this one match. So let's just recap everything. The path forward for India is a razor edge. They absolutely must win. A loss or a washout sends them home, all because of that poor net run rate. Victory is the only way to keep the dream alive. After all the complex calculations, the net run rate debates, and the forecasting, it all just boils down to this incredibly simple, incredibly high-stakes reality. There is no tomorrow without a win today. And that is the question, isn't it? All the analysis is done, and the answer is going to be decided out there on the pitch. Will they handle the pressure? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching The Explainer.